So Kaylee had to go to bed, and I saw there was a late showing of Coyotes, which Kaylee had no interest in seeing because she doesn't like movies that vilify animals. So I was like, all right, I got to go check this thing out for the channel. I'm going to go out, and here we are. So this stars Justin Long and his, I think, fiance. I don't think they're married yet. Kate Bosworth. And this is from the director of Grave Encounters. And funny enough, they have all teamed up to make a Grave Encounters reboot. So this was kind of like the trial run, so to speak, of their partnership in horror. And to like, this is gonna let us know maybe what to expect from Grave Encounters with them putting their heads together as a creative team. So does this get me excited for a Grave Encounters reboot with this director and these actors? If this movie's anything to go off of, absolutely not. I didn't like this movie much at all. This didn't work for me much. There's like a couple things I could not nitpick. Plenty of things I can nitpick. There's a bunch of things, or a few things here I could cherry pick out of this movie that was like, oh, that was kind of funny, or like that was cute, or like whatever. But for the most part, man, this just did not land for me. So this is like a horror thriller comedy, and there's a difference between like horror with comedy and like comedy horror, right, where the horror is supposed to be funny. This is much more like serious with comedy kind of periodically laced throughout. Neither really worked for me. I didn't really like the horror, and I really didn't like the comedy much. So and them together, obviously didn't work for me either. So I was pretty stunned by that, because I was just sitting there the whole movie being like, wow, I'm just really not caring for this. There's this style choice that they're doing where things are supposed to be cool and artistic, where every time like a new character enters, they like slam cut this comic look over the characters as like a title card intro for the character. And I was like, okay, this movie's gonna try to be fun, and I just didn't have any. I just really didn't. I mean, of course, like all things, art is subjective, comedy is subjective, horror is subjective. Maybe you'll have a better time than I did. But man, I don't really have a lot of positives to say. Now, I had read that this movie wanted to use some real coyotes, but they just logistically couldn't make it work because they're notoriously like impossible to train and something like that. And I think pretty much everything in the film is CG. I'll give the film credit for that. I think that the CG coyotes look pretty damn good. You can tell that there's some effects on them, but for a modest budget film like this, I think the coyotes themselves actually look pretty damn good, all things considered. Now, as far as like Justin Long, Kate Bosworth, Brittany Allen, who great to see her. I always love to see her. She also made another film that I think is vastly overlooked, a zombie film called It Stains the Sands Red, who she made with the director of this movie. So it's cool to see her, and she pops up in quite a few of his movies. But anyway, I like Justin Long a whole bunch. Kate Bosworth is someone that I know her, like I've seen her in plenty of things, but off the top of my head, I can't think of a single film for some weird reason. But yeah, I mean, Justin Long is Justin Long in this. He's I always like him, but his jokes and his humor in this, I don't know, there's something amiss in this movie. The thrilling aspects just didn't land. Like, there's all these setups for scares or for tension, and none of those really work. Um, the comedy, it was all just kind of like, like I didn't laugh out loud once, outside of maybe one or two lines that I was like, yeah, that was kind of funny. Something with a walkie-talkie. I was like, okay, that's clever, that's cute. But I just kept sitting through this, just really kind of taken aback by like, am I really just not liking this that much? Like I don't know. So this is a big miss, and honestly, one I thought was gonna land, and so I was pretty surprised sitting through this. Um, so yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work for you guys. Obviously check it out. Maybe when it comes to VOD or like a Netflix or something like that, I would not rush out to the theater to see this, even though I'm like a big advocate for supporting lower budgeted films and especially horror. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really have a ton to say about it. Just I'm thinking about all the things that don't work, and they're just spoilers, and I don't want to get into spoilers with this movie, because then I'd be sitting here talking and bitching about this thing and that thing. But like, okay, hold on. First, this isn't really a spoiler, but like, why they don't try to contact the authorities when this whole thing is going down? Like, there's so many bonehead decisions in this movie, and because the film does try to take itself mostly seriously, like, there is humor in it, but it's not like reality adjacent, like dumb humor where the characters are making such stupid decisions that you're like, okay, this is meant to be humorous. No, it's not like that. It's like the characters are somewhat quirky, and they're trying to make these characters feel like fun and memorable, but it's not set in some fantasy reality where things don't make sense. No, this is like totally normal life. And it's like there's a scene where things have went down. Someone is dead, mutilated, right? And there's characters, and one of them like has their phone on them and like even takes a phone call, and they're like trying to get this person to help them. And I'm like thinking, who the fuck would not have called the cops by this point? Like, I know that there was supposed to be some stuff going on in town or whatever, but like, who's not gonna try to call the cops in this situation? It takes them so long to try, and then it doesn't even ever amount to literally anything. I'm trying not to talk about spoilers, but this is like kind of maddening. This isn't even the problem with the film, but there are so many things like that where there's these logical moments where, like, for instance, there's a character in a room, and then they come up with this really stupid plan, which doesn't really, like, they do the plan and they use it to like get outside, but it's not really used for all that much, because then they kind of like abandoned it and it really doesn't do anything. So like, but how they, okay, so they're up in a room with all the characters, and then they're like, I'm gonna go do this weird stupid plan. I don't even understand. I don't know what the plan was, because there's something that gets added to the plan that was unbeknownst to them before they started this plan. So I don't know what the plan was without this new element that they find while doing this. I'm trying to remain as vague as possible. I apologize, but this is what I can do as a spoiler-free review. But then, like, how, like, they're up in a room, and then they have to move to a different room in the house, and they do that somehow, But then when the other characters are still in that room and they try to go to a door, the coyotes like are attacking the door. And they're like, oh yeah, we can't leave this room. And it's like, but a character already just went down into another room, no problem. Like, we didn't even see any fucking film, any scene where somehow they got from this room to this room when the coyotes are in the house. There's so many moments like that in this movie. I think that was also one of the problems. I didn't really care for the humor. I didn't really care for the horror or the thriller aspect. And then the characters were doing such stupid things, and then there was so many fucking like logical lapses in this film where I'm just sitting there going, I honestly was like sitting, there was one other guy in the theater, and I genuinely considered like turning around and asking him if I was fucking crazy. Because I was just like, there's like, why are they doing this? Why aren't they doing this? How did they do this? Like, I don't get it. So yeah, I'm not going to continue to harp. And yeah, then there's this like pest control guy, and his character's supposed to be kind of funny, and I don't know, his ending is kind of stupid to me, and I don't know, man. I could go over so many other things that I just don't understand at all. So yeah, big miss. All right, I'm gonna shut up. I don't recommend this, but it's your dollar. Justin Long, Kate Bosworth, director of Grave Encounters. Maybe you'll get more out of it than I did, but fuck, man, this was not good. All right.